Hey guys, I am happy to announce that we have a sponsor for today's episode, and that is Happy Haunts. If you are into the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, then look no further than Happy Haunts Clothing, your go-to for all Haunted Mansion-inspired alternative fashion. So whether you're a fan of the dark side of Disney or just love a ghostly good time, their unique apparel will make sure you're the best dressed ghost at any Haunted Mansion. So be sure to follow them on Instagram at Happy Haunts Clothing for all the latest drops. Don't miss your chance to awaken the spirits. Visit their website, happyhaunts.com today.
This is the Rawl of the Dead podcast with your host, Rawl of the Dead.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, Tammy, thanks for doing the podcast with me. I appreciate it. You have a fantastic salon here, and I did a photo shoot here, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was about that.
And yeah, just make sure you bring the microphone
closer.
In front of you. Yeah. There you go.
How's that? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Better.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot actually right here where we're sitting at, and then some in the front.
Yes.
And I loved it. It was, everyone thought we did this at like a studio. And I was like, no, it's actually a hair salon. And it came out really good. We were happy with it. So thank you for letting us do that. That was awesome. So, yeah. So how have you been? How's business going here?
Good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
You know, we're fortunate enough to be very busy and fortunate enough to be in business still past the pandemic. So, yeah, very fortunate.
Yeah, what were you doing prior to opening the shop, business-wise and career-wise? What were you doing before this?
Originally, I was an EMT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know, how did that happen and how I got here? That's very odd. Yeah. Originally, I was an EMT for many years, and then married a fireman. We had a family, married for many years, and then I got a divorce, and then I had a license in hair already, so I decided to go back into it. And so for a few years, I was behind the chair, and then I always wanted to start something that was original to the area. Mm-hmm. And I am not a good decorator. I'm not, I really have no sense of style whatsoever. But the one thing that's been consistent in my life was horror movies ever since I was a very, very small girl. Started in 1981 with Elvira. And
the TV show Elvira?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Macabre. And it was a big family get-together when we had that. And in the early 80s, when she would do her 3D specials, we would take our bicycles down to the 7-Eleven to get our 3D glasses for 99 cents.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then,
I remember those, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's what started it, and nothing has changed. So I'm like, I got to do something different. And there she is, right? Yeah. And I said, I got to do something different because there's a whole lot of salons in this state. And I'm like, well, there's only one thing I know, so I'm going to do a crossover of the two. And here we are, 10 years later.
How long were you doing EMT for?
Oh, probably about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And you went to school for that?
Oh, yeah. It was one of the toughest schools I've ever been through.
What school did you go to?
It was actually Mount San Antonio, Mount Sac.
Oh, that's right by me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
my daughter went there, too.
To Mount Sac?
She went to Mount Sac, yeah.
Yeah. And at the time, I'm sure he's long since retired, but at the time, the instructor that did EMT there was one of the toughest in the state.
Oh, really?
And I did it as a single mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and 80% of the class dropped out or failed, and I made it. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's usually what happens with college classes, like whatever your career choice is, like even if it's photography or whatever, they always say like 80% of them are probably going to drop out and not pursue a career in what they're going for. And I always think that's just interesting because, like, yeah, it's like you got to really stick it out, and you kind of know if that's really your passion of what you want to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when you were doing the EMT, when did you realize, like, maybe this is not for me?
Well, marrying a fireman, he didn't want us both working 911, which I wish I never kind of didn't or agreed with him on that. Right. And then we had kids, and everything. So I went into hair thinking it's more of a mom job, but all along then I ended up missing being an EMT. I wish I could do it part-time.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe twice a month. I do miss that. But I ended up doing hair instead. And then, of course, I was able to work a mom schedule with that.
Yeah.
You know.
How many kids do you have?
2. I have 2 daughters. Well, they're adults now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is a working salon right now. So actually, if you hear any noise, there's actually somebody here. We're actually here live.
Yes.
You know, while it's being, well, you got workers here and customers. And so the idea for the salon, you wanted to mix hard. Now, when you opened it, did you immediately start doing it that way, or was it just a normal salon in the beginning?
Well, we originally had a smaller location down the street. And I, like I said, I was a single mom at the time, and I couldn't afford to completely change everything. I'd bought an existing salon, and I couldn't afford to change everything. So what I did was I contacted all my friends who did horror artwork, and I said, hey, if you guys put stuff on the walls, I will give you 100% of the sale of it, and if we could sell it. And then the only deal is if it sells, you have to switch it out with something else. So everybody took me up on it. And slowly but surely, I started replacing it with my own stuff. I had collections too, because I always used to have big Halloween parties and stuff like that, and collectible stuff from being a horror fan. So slowly I started replacing everything with my own. And every now and then I'll sell something for like an old friend or something that wants to sell a big piece. Like the big piece behind you right there is a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, that's from Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lori. But I just do it for friends now, you know.
Yeah.
But that's how I started. And so literally blood, sweat, and tears, truly. And then once we got the keys to this place, you would never guess what this place looked like when we first opened here.
It wasn't this big, because it actually extends out really far. We're actually in the back area part.
Right.
And then you have another area back here, which is like a break room for the workers.
Yes.
But I like this little area right here, this little sitting area. What is this general area anyways? What is this for?
Exactly that. Just overflow.
Just to sit?
Yeah. Sometimes the staff will sit back here, or a lot of times, like on busy Saturdays or Sundays, we'll have clients sit back here too, because the front only handles so much. So,
yeah, there's like two cool like Gothic chairs in the front. Those are awesome too.
Yeah, lots of fans of those. People have offered to buy those.
I know, right? Yeah. Those are the ones I want to get for sure for my house. So it slowly started to build with your collection of stuff? Oh, yeah. And then as we started growing as a business, me and my partner that I'm with now, we've been together 8.5 years. We're engaged now. Oh, okay.
We recently got engaged with Elvira there, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No, I was going to talk to you about that for sure, but we'll get to that.
Okay. But so he works in law enforcement. I know everyone hates cops, but he works in law enforcement. He's a super cool cop, though. And he had a big retirement, and he goes, let's buy this building, and which was actually very good business-wise, especially going through the pandemic, because when we bought this building 3 months later, the pandemic hit. And we were watching a lot of people lose their businesses and stuff, and I always said, like, I know this town will be up and coming, and if we buy, we'll never have to get run off like so many of my other friends who had greedy landlords, and they had to go out of business. So he was willing to sacrifice everything, including, me, him, everything financially, and our own hands, and we did a lot of this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you opened this up right around 2020 or 2019?
Well, we had the keys to it in 2020, and the pandemic hit, so everything got stalled.
Oh, so it was like right at that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're talking, I had the keys in January, and then in March we got hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in January everyone was talking about like the COVID that was here, and they were going to shut things down. I was like, I don't think they're going to do that, but by late February, it was looking like it was going in that direction.
Oh, yeah.
How long were you guys... So you never even opened? Yeah, or did you?
No. Well, technically, once things were starting to lighten up, because I technically had 3 shutdowns, and they were all at different times. So it was in total 7 months, but in 3 separate times. So we had a place for that, and obviously it got to a point where I couldn't be paying the lease on one place and a mortgage on the other.
Right.
So finally, after the second shutdown, I'm like, we got to move. So we literally packed stuff in wagons, and I got one small U-Haul, and we moved everything one block. We moved everything in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I said, listen, we don't have all the decor up, but you guys have your cabinets, you guys have a mirror, and you guys have your chairs. And they're like, that's all we need. So that's how we all got started here. So.
And you already had the employees that would do hair lined up to come here?
Oh, yeah, and then some. I had a waiting list, I mean, at that time of people, So,
that's cool. So this location is called Little Shopper Hairdos. This is Tammy. I don't know if I introduced you correctly, but Little Shopper Hairdos is the name of her salon, and it's basically horror themed. And I've never been to a salon where it was horror themed. So when I first came here and looked around, I'm like, this is amazing. You have so much. You even have like the Haunted Mansion sort of like thing right here in the front, which I'll show right here. And that looks great.
Thank you.
It looks like totally from the ride. So I'm like, this is awesome. So when you guys opened up, did you guys have a lot of people, customers come for the first opening weekend?
And we had a waiting list.
Really?
Probably 4 or 5 pages long, and I had to hire more people to help with the waiting list, and people were really upset that they were waiting, and I said, you don't understand, you got to get through a lot of people,
Yeah,
so.
No. And what made you want to call it Little Shopper of Hairdos?
I did a Facebook poll. I let Facebook, I'm like, what do you guys think I should name it? This is what I want. And there were several options of people doing it, and so by the people, how many likes were on each one, that's who named it. And I said, and everyone liked this name, and I said, well, that would be cool because I can do a form of Audrey too. And so luckily I have a lot of friends in the creative industry, and my friend who works for Disney Comics, he draws for Darkwing Duck, drew our logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. We had to fall under the parody law, of course. We couldn't imitate, but we're well under that by large. So
what were some of the other options that you can remember?
The whole curl up and dye thing, which has been taken a billion times.
Curl up and dye?
Yes.
Okay.
But that started in movies. I know Earth Girls Are Easy was one of them. And I forget the original movie that started it. I'm sure some of the
Earth
listeners
Girls
probably.
Are Easy? Okay,
yeah. With Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum and stuff. So there's a salon in there called that. And then there was another movie before that, and I can't think of the name. I'm sure some of the listeners will probably figure it out. But so there was a salon named that too. And it would have been perfect for us, but there's 5 billion salons that. And I'm like, no, I want to be the weirdos. Like, we have to be completely different from everyone else.
Yeah.
So I made sure there was nothing like us. And at the time, there wasn't,
Yeah.
So.
Now, when you opened this up, were you doing hair? And
Yes.
You were doing that? Okay.
Yes.
And did you go to school for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it was about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. But it's a lot of people, I think you learn talent in school and you don't. It's actually a lot of safety procedures and sanitation protocols.
Mm-hmm.
You learn talent on your own.
Right, from doing it.
Right. So that was a lot of big issue during the pandemic too. Like, understand we are sanitized and we do take precautions. Other than wearing a mask was the only, additional thing we had to do. But we didn't get why we were shut down so much while casinos were open before us.
Yeah.
So.
And then did you when you opened, did you go with the protocols of what the city wanted, like when they were shutting everything down? Like, did you take in customers when everything was shut down, and you just wanted to do a soft opening?
What we did was the first time, everyone
did that,
right? Yeah, everyone was behaving. Second time, like, not all of us were getting the benefits that everyone else was getting because we're self-employed. So some were getting it, some weren't. I have single moms that work here and everything, and they're like, we got to do something. So they started lightening up the rules on us, how many clients we can take in at a time. Of course, we got to wear masks and do all that, and sanitize in between, which we do anyways.
Yeah, totally.
Doing that for decades. But, and then by the third one, there was no salon I even knew of anywhere that was actually closed. All the clients were coming through the back door.
Yeah, I think that even when I went to go get my haircut, there was a place that had... it was a new barber shop, but they were taking appointments only, so I had to
Yeah.
make an appointment with them like the next day because my hair was getting like long.
Right. Yeah.
I even learned how to cut my own hair, which was like an hour ordeal just to cut my own hair.
Right.
But there was a YouTube lesson on how to cut your own hair during the pandemic, so I kind of learned about like this is ridiculous. So I went to the barbershop. I could see because they had the paper on the windows,
Right.
and like if it was closed,
Right.
and so nobody can see. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna call them and see if I can make an appointment. And sure enough, they brought us in through the back, and I don't know if anybody was really. Did anybody really care?
No.
Would you get in trouble?
No. No.
I didn't think so either.
Police didn't care. Nobody cared at that. By that point, I think everyone was just fed up with it, and everyone had to make a living. Everyone was suffering financially, so we all had to
Yeah.
do what we got to do, So we did, And then even during the first shutdown, I paid the bills by taking care of all the emergency workers
Oh wow.
because they still needed haircuts.
Yeah.
So I was working with LAPD. I worked for Santa Monica. Firemen were coming here. Everything. Nurses, they still had protocol to fall under. So I was taking them like one at a time and then sanitizing everything in between.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that was kind of dumb to shut down like the smaller like the hair salons because they're all small businesses. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else is like opened
Yeah.
with the mask. Like even like Sammy's camera was open, but you just had to wear a mask.
Right.
And I was like, well, how come the hair salon? Because it had something to do with like, it's the closeness of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. If everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, we were fine.
Yeah.
We never had an outbreak here other than our own,
No, I know.
Yeah,
Did you get COVID?
Oh yeah.
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 Did more than once?
Yes, twice. And
Twice.
I was vaccinated. So
I know. The vaccination did nothing like
Yeah.
to anybody. I think I got vaccinated both times. And, but the last time I got COVID was 2022, I think. Right in the beginning. Goes after Creep by Econ.
Oh.
And, and I do the cold showers. So I tell everybody I've been doing the cold showers just to get my immune system. That's kind of what I learned during 2020 is how to be healthier and what are other options you can do to combat and make your immune system stronger. So one of them was Wim Hof, who did hold on a second. He does a cold bath, right? The ice baths, and I'm like, I'm not that intense about it, but it was interesting to watch his method of what it works for. And so he's recommended the cold showers. So I tried it and I didn't like it. Of course, I didn't. Who likes cold showers?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I stopped. I just stopped, and I'm just going to go on with my life. And then the nurse at Fox told me, it's like if you want to build, because I was getting paranoid. I was like, I feel like I'm getting a fever. I think I have COVID. You know what I mean? And he goes, if you really want to build your immune system, after you take your shower, to do 30 seconds of a cold shower. Just 30 seconds at the end. I go, really? He goes, yeah, that's going to help you.
Huh.
So that's how I started.
Right.
And then eventually I just do complete cold showers now, even through the winter. I'm completely doing.
Oh, you're brave. Not to the winter.
It's not even. I don't think it's brave. I just do it, and it's like, it's very uncomfortable. Of course, I don't like it.
Right.
People think I like doing cold showers, but I actually don't. I mean, I do it just for the health benefits and because I don't want to get sick. I want to build my immune system, and that's what 2020 taught me, is to do the cold showers, take your vitamins,
Yep.
and then just get back and eat better.
Yes.
Exercise, and treat your body as best as you can. And I think that's kind of the lesson I learned from during that whole shutdown. And even the mask, I'm not trying to say anybody wants to wear a mask, that's fine. But I also feel like the mask was like you're breathing in the cloth, whatever mask you're wearing, you're breathing in, and it just, I don't know if that's doing damage to my lungs or not. I don't know.
Right.
You know, I just know I don't want to wear a mask again.
Right.
I just
Exactly. We're all traumatized.
We're
from that.
we're traumatized from the whole thing. I'm like, but I see people wearing masks once in a while still.
Right. Right.
Now here, do you guys were you guys wearing masks in the very beginning?
Yeah. I mean, the requirements said we had to, and clients did too, so.
Yeah, now when I go get my haircut, she was telling me the same thing. She was doing the protocols, but she said once the second one happened, she goes, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to run my business. She's a small business barbershop, and that's where I go get my haircut, and so I always like supported her for that, like for continuing to do it, because she goes, yeah, it's like, and she's right by a police station. She goes, but they don't care. Yeah, I go, I don't think anybody. I don't know why everybody got scared from it. Yeah. So how'd you meet your husband? Your he's not your husband yet. You guys
not yet, yeah, but it's funny. I used to do burlesque. I used to be a burlesque performer.
Oh wow, when was this? Before EMT or
after
no,
EMT. Husband never would have let me do that. So I did burlesque for several years, and I met him at a burlesque show. We were friends for a long time, and then but we've been together quite some time, probably 8.5 years.
Was he like just a customer that used to come to see you?
He dated another burlesque.
Not a customer, maybe a fan.
A fan, an attendee. No, he was dating another burlesque performer, and I was dating someone else at the time. But we were friends for a while,
okay.
And then we hadn't seen each other, and we had since broken off with both people we were dating and everything. And so one day he called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to go? Hey, let's go hang out." So we did, and he's never gone home.
He just stayed there.
He's never gone home.
He's still here.
Yeah, but I was in the burlesque industry for a long time, and as a matter of fact, I even produced 2 burlesque shows here.
Here
at the historic theater here.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you probably know all the same people I do, maybe still.
Probably.
Yeah.
Depends on what time they're in there, but yeah.
Yeah.
I still get involved. Like when I was in New York, I just went and do a show there and everything too. So I still partake.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't, with this place, there's no way I have the time for all that anymore.
No, yeah, this place probably keeps you pretty busy. Yeah.
For sure.
So now you're not doing the hair anymore. You're just kind of running the business.
Right. Yeah, unless it's for family or friends. I don't. Matter of fact, I just lost my final paying client that I had for 12 years. She passed away last month.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw her to the end. So so that was my last paying one. She didn't want me to leave her at all, so I kept her. So
she was like your last paying client.
She was my last one. But with managing any business, it's full-time job,
Yeah.
So it just, as much as it'd be great to have both incomes, I just couldn't do both.
Yeah.
I had to choose. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so tell me about the Elvira thing then. How did Elvira get involved?
Well,
in your what was it? As a proposal?
Yeah. I didn't know that was coming. But we had tickets to go see her, which the whole thing sounds like a fever dream, and it sounds like something that would happen inside of my head because it was very bizarre. She was doing an event at the Groundlings Theater because she graduated from Groundlings Theater, like Phil Hartman and Miss Yvonne from the Pee Wee Herman show, and so many people. Well, at the end of the event, she was just hanging out with us in the lobby, so it was really cool. And she's such a great lady. And if you've ever met her,
I met her when I got my autograph from her.
Yeah, she's so humble.
She's really nice.
And of course, she's just naturally beautiful. I don't know what she eats, but I need to eat it too. But like I said, 1981, and then I've seen her. They're axe throwing over there.
What is that?
Axe throwing over there.
Oh, is that what we're hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've seen her where I've taken pictures with her at conventions, and thankfully, even in costume, when she was in costume, I'm glad I got that. But I've never got a chance to just talk to her and tell her about this place and how she truly was the beginning for me. So, she was taking pictures with people in the lobby and just chatting with people in the lobby. And I just walked up to her and I said, I just wanted to let you know. And I told her I go, how I was a kid in 1981 and I have this place now. And she thought, oh, this sounds really cool, when she heard about the salon. And so I'm having this emotional moment with, what I call my horror mom. And my then boyfriend walks up behind me and says to Elvira, he goes, yeah, she sees you like a horror mom. And I look at him like, why are you interrupting this emotional moment between me and my mom right now? And he looks at Elvira and says, hey, as her horror mom, do I have permission to ask her to marry me? because we're very sarcastic with one another and have been for many years, so I thought he was joking. And Elvira, as if she was in on it the whole time, turns around to him and goes, "Yes, and you better do it right now." And not kidding, he pulls the ring out of his jacket pocket. And yeah, and then not kidding, like Miss Yvonne from Pee Wee was right there standing and screaming during the whole thing.
Wow.
And then we had Gwen Gooley from the Sven Gooley Show. She was there. It was like all these wild characters.
What were they all there for?
For the event, because it was very small, intimate setting. But she was talking about her life in being in the Groundlings Theater and what it was like. I mean, working with Phil Hartman and Pee Wee Herman and all of that, you know. So it was a very small theater and maybe 50 people. So it was cool. Like, it was completely different than being at her with a convention where you go and get your picture taken with her. She was like hanging with us. So I thought it was a good time for me to tell her this emotional moment, not thinking of what this was going to turn into. But sure enough, he had the ring and he had planned the thing the whole time.
Oh, he did plan it.
Yeah, so he had planned it, but Elvira didn't know. She just happened to say, "Yes, and you better do it right now." And he did, and he had the ring. So he pulled out a skull and he opened the skull cap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very much
that's
me.
Perfect.
And the ring was inside. And then I caught on like, okay, this wasn't a joke. This is real.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were taking video. So you can see Miss Yvonne from the Pee Wee's Playhouse screaming. It was like all these wild characters on it. So I thought this is so perfect. This literally sounds like a fever dream.
Yeah.
You know? You can even see in the video, like, I'm in shock. Like, is this really happening? You know, because I went from one emotional moment to this, you know, so, and everyone was screaming in the lobby and everything. And then so I know this is really happening. So I'm like, I guess I got to say yes now, right?
So you did say yes.
Yeah, I did.
And when did that happen? What year was that?
This a couple months ago. This is in March.
This just happened?
Yeah, it just happened.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Remember you told me the story about, I thought it was like last year or something.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. So.
And I think she's going to be at Midsummer Scream.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to go see her?
No, because normally I've been there, but this year I wanted to start doing other events and kind of branch out a little bit. And of course, that's the year that she's going there. But she'll definitely remember the event that happened between. She'll definitely.
Yeah, because she'll do that one or Monster. That's kind of where I saw her, was at Monster Palooza.
Yeah.
But I know she doesn't do her. She wasn't in her Elvira costume, was she? Okay.
The only time I saw her in that was when it was LA Comic Con, because her and Stan Lee ran that or produced it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, originally. I don't know who does now.
Okay.
But when it was LA Comic Con, it was her and Stan Lee.
Oh, wow.
So she did it in costume. So that was my first opportunity to get her in costume with that.
Did you ever go see her at Knott's when she'd perform her?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know. She was so legendary for that, but I never went and saw her.
We used to go in the 90s when she was doing it all the time. Sometimes we would catch it, sometimes we wouldn't.
Right.
But it was always something cool to look forward to, and I think now she doesn't do the Elvira look anymore.
No.
Like she retired it.
Yeah.
I remember she was announcing though she was going to retire it. So yeah. Did you watch a lot of Elvira movies too?
Heck yeah, even as terrible as they were.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
You mean the ones that she was in, or the one that she like hosted? Because the ones that she
was in.
Oh yeah, we even have them here at the salon. We watch them here all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. And she's her typical comedy, So I mean, and I freaking love her for that, So
yeah.
Her sarcasm too, So
I think we need to put her in something else.
Yeah, it's about that time.
I think we need a resurgence of Elvira coming back.
Right.
Just put her in one of the movies that is coming out, like just as a cameo even. I think
right.
That would be great.
Well, she was in. She had a short little clip in The Munsters, the last one by Rob Zombie.
Right.
Yeah, she was a real estate agent. So she does little parts like that, you know. But of course, she was in some Pee Wee movies because they were such good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely. I've even seen that meme go around that her and Dolly Parton really need to do something together.
That would be great.
That would be
awesome.
I think that would be great. But.
And now you were telling me you did some pop-ups events here in Upland once in a while. Are you still doing those?
What I do is during the Lemon Festival, we have vendors inside here because it's a huge event here.
What is it called?
The Lemon Festival. Because historically speaking, we used to be a citrus packing area.
Oh, okay.
Over 100 years ago, because this whole area is actually historic. This building here was built in 1907.
Yeah.
So So in honor of our history, we've had this lemon festival that we have annually in the community. It's been probably about 25 years since we've been having it. So it's an annual thing that we have in this town, and it attracts a ton of people, just an absolute ton of people. So instead of closing down because traffic is so bad and parking is so bad here, we started having vendors and stuff in here. So it's something completely different than what the Lemon Festival itself has. There's no horror vendors out there, you know. And then
So do you have vendors inside here?
Inside here.
Inside your salon?
Yeah.
Oh, that works.
Yeah. So we can put in a pretty good amount in the space that we have.
Yeah,
now.
you have a lot of space here.
Yeah.
So you just put the chairs out of the way? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That works great. So you were also telling me that this place. Tell me a little history on this actual building.
According to city documents, we originally were the blacksmith of the town. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then for many years, probably over 30 years, we were actually like part of an animal like feed and fuel place. And you can still find pictures of that. And I think I found a picture of us as a blacksmith as well, because we had to have been the only blacksmith in the area, and it said Downtown Upland Blacksmith, so you wouldn't have more than one blacksmith in town.
In town, yeah.
Yeah, but there was literally the streets were dirt and the sidewalks were wood.
Yeah,
one time.
wow, that's
so
crazy.
there's a ton of history in this town.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you were telling me something like this wall or this back area. This was what was this right here?
Right before we bought it, because it's been several businesses since then. There was actually like a clothing retailer here, and this was a dog grooming area. It was very odd.
Oh, okay.
And then we had taken down the drywall and found the brick archways.
Oh, okay.
We had to restore them a little bit, but yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Thank you.
This whole back area looks awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine covering up the history on that. You know, there's so much, but
no, not at all. And then around here, there's a Rad Coffee. There's some other like cool like
the
shops.
Stardust Alley.
Yeah. What's the other one?
Stardust Alley. They sell like alt and horror merchandise and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're getting an axe throwing place literally right next door to us here. So
that's next door.
Yeah, literally.
So that's what we're hearing.
That's what we're hearing. Yeah, and it's a rage room too. So.
Yeah, because I'm hearing kids or something.
Yeah, they're having like their soft opening right now of like family and friends.
Oh, okay.
And so they have a rage room, they have a private karaoke rooms, and then the axe throwing.
Oh, okay.
So,
I've never been to an axe throwing thing.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Have you done that?
Oh yeah. Well, here too, because they used to have a different location further down the way, and they moved over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I already know.
I wonder how I would do on that. I don't know. I see there's one in Fullerton.
Yes.
And then I think there's one in. I saw another one in Pasadena, but I can't remember.
Well, there's
where.
they have a second location in Fullerton.
Okay.
And then just opened the slashers one, the horror themed one.
Where's that in Corona or something?
Santa Ana.
Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the one I think I've been seeing posts on.
Probably.
Yeah. So what's next? What's next on the agenda for you as far as like Little Shop of Hairdos? Are you guys going to do any other events coming up?
Yeah, Lemon Festival isn't this coming weekend, it's the following weekend. So that's 3 days, Friday through Sunday. And
what's the date on those? In June?
Yeah, June 14th through the 16th.
Okay.
Friday it's in the evening, and then Saturday and Sunday it's all day. But we close down at 8 because the festival goes on till 11 o'clock at night, and that's a long time for vending. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy busy, but the vendors do really, really well. So that's all
What
that
vendors are you going to have here?
We have Discount Cemetery.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Lucky Hellcat. Casey Love, who teaches monster making classes here. He's a well-known latex monster creator. Works with Guillermo del Toro and Doug Jones, all of them.
Nice.
Heidi Klum, he does a lot of her Halloween costumes every year. And he teaches classes here, and he does also on the side, he does masks as well, and him and his wife are both artists, and they will be here selling their merch. One of my stylists is going to be doing face painting, and then we have Magic Box, Alex from Magic Box.
Magic Oil?
Magic Oil. Did I say Magic Oil Box, right? Am I saying it right?
Oil,
okay.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me. All right. Yeah, so that.
Yeah, because Alex has, I think he has like a something down the street, I think Claremont, that he has some of his supplies at.
Oh, like a collective type thing, right?
Yeah, he has like, there was, because I met him there one time for something, and a lot of his stuff was at a shop. And he goes, no, sometimes I come in here and put some of my stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the one who told me about this little area in Upland. He goes, no, it's got a cool horror horror following in Upland and Claremont. I go, oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And I'm not too far from here. I'm like 25 minutes maybe.
Oh, okay.
That's not too far.
No.
So it's not bad. So that should be cool. So it's 2 days or 3 days?
Three.
Three. Okay,
yeah.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So maybe I can drop by on one of those days. Yeah.
Uber in or rideshare, I'd say definitely.
Because there's not going to be no parking.
Yes,
right?
but you can use our restrooms here. You don't have to use the porta potties though. So.
Yeah, they're going to bring out the porta potties for sure.
Oh yeah, and they're disgusting. You don't want to use.
No, hell no. And then Midsummer Scream, you said you're not doing that.
Not this year. Yeah,
Okay.
not this year. Just because I'm gonna do the Little Shop of Horrors event, which I figured we had to be part of.
Where's that at?
That's through the Witch's Brew in Santa Ana.
Oh, okay. That's in October? No.
July.
Okay.
July.
I think I just saw her post something on that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm like, we have to take part in that.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing there for that one?
Same thing, vending. We have our merch. We have our, we also do hair products and all of our, all the stuff we sell here in the retail in the store. And
So you're
stuff.
like promoting the salon?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And you have people doing hairstyles at these booths?
No, because it takes too much time and it's hard to really adjust. And if you need anything with water, we don't have that there. So, but a lot of people are asking questions. A lot of people want to, have never been able to come inside, so they want to ask us stuff. And, they follow the shop on Instagram and stuff, and want to talk to us or even book an appointment there. They can do that too.
Yeah.
But we're working towards a second location. So we'll
getting a
see how that
second
goes.
location?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. Maybe somewhere. What area are you thinking?
Out of state.
Out of state?
Yeah, we're going to start branching elsewhere. We've got a lot of requests for all kinds of places, from like Texas to London even.
Wow.
Yeah, so thankfully we have such a big following that we have people from everywhere. So whenever I ask that, people are saying, please, in this state or that state, it's like Austin, Texas, or,
You get Vegas ones too?
Yeah, oh, definitely. That's only 3 hours from here, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a bad deal either.
I feel like a lot of stuff's popping up there as well.
Oh, yeah. And the horror industry is spreading out there too.
Yeah, for sure. And then Salem, sometimes people request the Salem one, and trying to think what else. Definitely like East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff on the East Coast, even New York, and I was just there in New York, so.
Okay.
I saw
Did you
some
check it
spots.
out? Did you go there for that purpose?
No, but of course the wheels are turning when I'm walking around the streets. It's, this place would look great here, and
right.
what different boroughs where we'd be good in. Like even Brooklyn looked good. That'd be a great place for us. And because I went to the Halloween store where they filmed Terrifier 2.
Oh, okay.
And that was pretty cool, and everyone there was.
Was that in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Abracadabra, New York City. And I just posted about them actually on our Instagram because I took some photos. And I took the part where the whole scene takes place and everything. And if anyone's seen Terrifier 2, you'd know what scene I'm talking about. But
I still got to watch it.
Oh,
I think
really?
I've only gone through the first one.
Oh, okay.
And, it's crazy. It's a crazy movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm like, I need to watch I was going to watch the second one, but I was like, I need to get through the first one still. Because, there's a lot of blood in that one.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminds me kind of like the old movies that I used to watch, like Blood-Sucking Freaks. I used to just look for the bloodiest, goriest movies. And not that they had any plot lines.
Oh, yeah. No.
I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to see, all the special effects. But now I'm looking more for stories, so, my mind has shifted into that more. We're now... But that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of those old, movies.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the eeriness of it, because he was just such a simple thing,
Yeah.
and it could be reality too. So
Yeah, that's the scary part. Yeah. And then when you were going back to when you were a kid, were you into horror stuff back then?
oh heck yeah,
Yeah.
the VHS stack every weekend.
Okay, because we're almost
Yeah.
I feel like we're almost the same age. I'm obviously older because so far I've been older than everybody, but that's okay. But I mean, I
happens.
like.
I feel ya.
But I like that we've talked and you've told me about some stuff that I can relate to because all early 80s stuff.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that I grew up in was late 70s or early 80s, especially early 80s, because that's all like when all the cool horror movies were just coming out, coming off of Halloween, and then all those movies in the 80s were just fantastic.
Oh yeah. Brand new, Nightmare on Elm Street, all of that. So
it was all brand new.
Even the comedy horror, like, Ghostbusters, so legendary.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I remember when I watched Young Frankenstein when I was a kid. I watched it as a kid. I didn't understand it.
Right.
I thought it was a serious movie.
Right.
I was like, I never knew. Like, I was mispronouncing Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein.
Right.
I was like, what a dumb kid I am.
Right.
And then it's like, it's Igor. I always thought it was Igor.
Right.
And then I didn't understand any of it. I just thought it was a serious movie. It wasn't until like when I was an adult already, I was like, this is a comedy.
Right.
But I didn't get it because you saw how dry humor it was that Mel Brooks was doing, like all that dry humor, and like I didn't understand any of it because they were so serious. You know what I mean? Gene Wilder was just so serious, and the Frankenstein was serious, but it's just one of my favorite movies now to go back and watch, and that's one of the ones I watched early on. What else? What other movies did you like growing up?
I Lost Boys. That was one of my favorites. Hot Vampires and Blood.
Who introduced you to all the movies? Who did you just introduce them on your own?
No, I did have an aunt, a great aunt actually, who was a horror fan, and she was like kind of like old school goth. And
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. And she was the one that introduced me to Elvira. Like, this is Elvira, and it's late at night, and we're going to watch this. So she kind of started that, and then started having the family come over anytime Elvira would have her specials, for 3D. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd say her, and then her daughter was my second cousin. And we were kind of similar in age, so we're more like first cousins. Yeah. But, all the horror movies. And then nothing ever changed. It was always my thing, And then I'd have my friends over in junior high and high school, and they're like, I have to show you this movie. And then I don't know if you remember, like, Faces of Death coming out.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I went into dark stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then I read
Traces of Death.
Yeah, I never saw that one, but I've recently heard about them. Like, how did I miss out on that? And I'm like, it's probably a good thing I didn't.
Traces it's depressing.
Oh,
it's not even. Yeah. That's when I was like, this isn't fun anymore.
Right? Yeah. Like, ew.
This is just depressing.
You need to watch something funny after that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
just shock value.
I'm like, okay, I think I've seen about every single part of like any type of gore. I've already seen it through Faces of Death. Right. Now, going back to Faces of Death real quick. Was that stuff real?
From what I understand, partly yes and partly no. So once it started getting popular, in the underground, and then it started, of course, you get the VHS set and everything. Then they were making so many of them that they didn't have enough content, so they kind of have to stage some stuff too,
Yeah, because it was like a 3 and 4, I think.
Right, yeah. So I don't even remember how many I got through.
I think I only went up to about 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 and 4, that's what I started hearing, like, it was like not for real, or it was fake. So they made me think that all the other ones were fake. Right. But I don't know. And then Traces of Death is not even like Faces of Death. It's more got to do with third world countries and and the stuff that they do brutality wise. And that's why I was like, this is why it was depressing. I go, this isn't really like Faces of Death. Right. It's more like just depressing third world country stuff, which I didn't like. So I wanted to go back to my Freddy Krueger's and Jason's and all the Lost Boys. What was the other one I liked watching? American Werewolf in London. Oh, that was one of my favorite ones. That's another one I watched early on as a kid. I still didn't really understand like if it was serious or not because it was a comedy to it as well. I haven't seen it in years, but I just remember like just being naive and thinking this is just all a very serious movie. Right. But it has that comedy relief in it. Oh, that's kind of what I liked about it.
But that transformation scene still holds up.
That's Rick Baker.
Yeah, Rick Baker.
Yeah, Rick Baker's from Covina, which is where I live.
Oh, yeah.
And
so is Tommy Lee and Vince Neil.
Yeah. They actually, the high school they go to, it's now a middle school. So it's kind of right by, I pass by it all the time. Huh. Yeah, I forgot about that as well.
Yeah.
So were your parents okay with the horror stuff?
Yeah, all
care.
the family was watching it, so.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, it tends to be generational. You know, I forced my kids into it. No, I started them young, probably younger than I should have, and then as teenagers, it was all bets were off. You know.
Did they like horror movies?
Oh
kids?
yeah, oh yeah, and then. And of course, then the granddaughter came along, and she's already on Chucky. So.
Oh, there you go. Start them young.
That's right.
So you're a grandmother.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a grandfather at all. I don't think my daughter will. I don't know. My daughter still seems like a young kid, but she's not. She's in her 30s.
Right.
I'm like, I wonder how I would feel about that. I don't even know. Same thing. I had her grow up with horror movies as well, and so to the point where she's like sanitized all of it. Nothing that really scares her anymore.
Right.
She's not into it like the way I am, but she's very much grew up with it. So she's like, when we used to go to horror nights or knots or whatever, like she just got used to it. I think at first it scared her a little bit, but when we went every year, she started getting used to it. She goes, "This is just what my dad likes."
Right.
And I made it light for her. I made her know that this is not for real. It's not. It's just people in costumes. And I think she was well aware of that as well.
Right.
But you just never know going into them. Did you take your kids to horror nights and
no,
that stuff?
They did not want to do that. So I didn't. I took my oldest one time because she wanted to do something. It was actually something through like a fun park or something. It wasn't even one of the major ones. Okay. And one of the creatures chased her with the chainsaw, so she was traumatized after that for a while. But it was her choice. I'm like, you're sure? Yes, mom. Yes, mom. But she was, I don't even remember now, maybe 12. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, she still holds that against me to this day. But I'm like, but look at you and your clothes, wearing the crow shirt and all this stuff now, and she's always so thankful that I introduced her all that stuff and music, by the way, of the 90s and everything. So,
what music were you listening to in the 80s?
Oh my gosh, I was a metalhead, totally.
Oh, me too.
Oh yeah, total metalhead.
Yes.
Total metalhead.
Perfect.
That was the glory days to me.
Oh yeah. That was like when so many new bands were coming out.
Yeah.
You just couldn't keep up.
No.
And then now you look back at it, it's like, man, I remember when all these bands were new. And they were on their first album, second album. When did you hear about Metallica?
Oh my gosh.
For me, it was 1984.
It probably had to be around that time because that was before they even had a music video, because they did not believe in music videos at the time. True. It wasn't until one.
Yeah, that was like the fourth album in.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. I think that was junior high for me, so that might have been the 80s then.
Was it the second, third, or fourth album?
Oh, boy.
Because they started like 83 was Kill 'Em All. Well, because I heard it in 84. I think I heard Kill 'Em All, and I didn't understand it. And I was like, what is this? This sounds like punk rock, but a weird punk rock.
Right.
And then the name Metallica had the metal name, and I was like, that's really metal. Like, how much more metal can you get than that Metallica? And then I didn't listen to it for like months. And then my friend got Ride the Lightning.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me that was the same band. I was like, and then I went back. I go, I actually like Kill 'Em All. I go, that's actually a really great album.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I started introducing it to my friends in continuation school because they never heard of Metallica at all. Like even our bus driver, he was like into Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, 70s classic rock.
Yeah.
And I remember I brought the cassette of Master of Puppets, and I go, hey Albert, I still remember his name. Hey Albert, and he was such a cool bus driver, long hair, like I said, rocker.
Yeah.
I go, throw this on because he had like a tape deck on the bus,
right?
And he'd always be blasting, whatever, Pink Floyd, whatever he was. I always liked his music, so Led Zeppelin, I go, that's perfect. And I go, pop in this one right here, and he's like, I think he was hearing Disposable Heroes when he goes, he's like, what was the lyric? I forgot what the lyric is, but he started laughing. He goes, oh my God, this is great. He liked it like right away. He goes, dude, he's like, can I hang on to this all day? I go for it. I'll get it back from you when we come back when he picks us up from school.
Right. So
he kept it, and then I introduced it to my friends. Nobody liked it either. They didn't get it. Like, so that's how old I am. Like, just looking back, like how even like Metallica, because you see Metallica now, they're just huge. Everybody knows who they are.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so weird to go back in a time where, like, I remember where I was introducing people to that band and that nobody had heard of. But that was great about the 80s because all these bands were coming up. Guns N' Roses. I remember hearing them for the first time. Like, this is different too.
Welcome to the jungle. Yeah.
It's like this is crazy. You know, Wasp.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into thrash metal. Did you get into thrash metal?
A little bit like you're talking about Slayer, Pantera, like that.
Not even Pantera, like Creator, Slayer, Possessed.
Slayer's probably the hardest I went.
Okay.
Being a girl, I was also like the hair bands too, you know. So
yeah, like Cinderella, Poison.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Motley.
As I gotten older, like I've appreciated all those bands, you know. Because I think, I don't know if you remember back then, there was like, if you were like into like hair metal, and you can't be into thrash, and if you're into thrash, you can't be into hair metal.
So weird, you know.
Or not even hair metal, whatever, glam metal, whatever the word is. It was basically the pretty boys,
right?
So
that sang the ballads.
There was definitely a separation.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that. It's like you had to be on one side or the other. But as you grow older, like now, you know, we all like the same thing. You know what I mean? I've even gone to appreciate like all the old stuff from the 70s even that I didn't give a chance to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, you know, it wasn't cool or whatever. But no, it's like I love all that stuff.
Right.
Anything rock related. So what kind of music do you listen to now?
Same.
The same?
Yeah. Okay, you know how we are. Whatever we listen to in school. No, I mean, a whole lot of modern stuff. I can't even... I know.
Can't keep track.
Yeah, you know, like something like, who is this? You know, I mean...
No, there's so many new bands. Like, so on the Blockcraft Network, there is a show called Artist Spotlight, which Dusty and Eileen do. And they've introduced me to some good music. So I kind of like that we have that podcast going because they'll play music and bands and they're so like knowledgeable on everything. I'm like I never heard of this. And they're like, yeah, so it reminds me of this band. I go, what band?
Right.
And then what other band does it remind? I go, I can't even keep track. They're so like, they're young. So so I'm like, I'm learning and they've introduced me to a couple of bands that I really like. So yeah, there's a whole other genre of music that's kind of a newer kind of metal. Right. And I wouldn't even call it ghost metal. Ghost is just like a rock band. Yeah. You know what I mean? And but there's just so many other bands around that I'm glad it's still going. Oh yeah. You know, but I still refer back to my old stuff as well. Yeah. It's like I just go back to classic. Right. I think you stick with whatever you listen to in school, you know, and you just everyone does, and as they get older, listen to the same stuff. Yeah. You know. But I try to definitely change it up, and like one of my favorite bands right now is the Strokes, and I know it's an older band, but and then I went through a Killers phase where I was like, oh my god, I love the Killers so much. I still love the Killers. I mean, they're just a great band. So I get into my moments like that as well. So, but anyways, so I'm gonna end the podcast here. But thanks, Tammy, for bringing me to the salon, and I think I'm ready for a haircut now. So I'm gonna get you out of retirement so you can cut my hair. Okay. I'm actually gonna do a full hawk. Are you? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So, wow. But I don't know if I'll color it, but okay. But you guys do all that stuff here, right? Oh yeah. Everybody here. Oh yeah. So if you guys want to book an appointment, go to Little Shop of Hairdos on Instagram. Do you guys have a website? Yes, it's littleshopofhairdos.rip. .rip. Yeah. What is that? RIP. That's Rest like a calm. Yeah. But we got RIP. I never even heard of that. Is that for real? Yeah. Yeah. Go to it and see. You'll see our website. Can I change mine to RIP? I know. Yeah. That's great. I love that. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Call your provider when you get your website through and say you want to change it. Really? Yeah. Well, how long have you had that website? Several years now. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't even realize. I thought it was .org and then there's .com and .net. Is .net still a thing? I guess, yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, I know. But yeah, we're all on every social media platform. That's part of my major part of my job is that, for sure. You know, even the new Cara, Threads, X, Threads, yeah. Can't keep track. YouTube? No, not YouTube. Yeah, YouTube too, everything. So you name it, we're there. Well, make sure you follow Little Shop of Hairdos on all the social platforms. Then if you're in the local area, if you're not that local, make the drive down here to Upland and get your hair done here. It's fantastic. Or you can come take a look at us too. We do welcome onlookers. We get a lot. Yeah, they got merch. Yeah. They got stuff for sale from other vendors, correct? Yes. Yeah, because I see all that stuff on the front. So. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll have something here. Maybe I'll sell the Poe DVD here or something. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll
Okay.
talk after.
Okay.
But anyways, thank you, Tammy.
All right. Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you guys later.
Okay.